Earlier I discussed how the ghost of Momoshiki might be Shibai Otsutsuki in disguise, but now when I think of it, it's also very likely that the Otsutsuki who has made Boruto his vessel is himself a vessel to the Otsutsuki god. This theory makes a lot of sense if we consider the recent change in Momoshiki's motives, along with his power to see the future. So let's dive deep into this possibility by dissecting it as much as we can. The likelihood of Momoshiki being Shibai's vessel comes from the fact that he possesses a lot of ancient knowledge of the Otsutsukis. He claims to know a lot about every Shinjutsu, which instantly puts him above the other Otsutsuki. He also knew Otsutsuki gods have rewritten humanity's history before. Even though Boruto and Kawaki are also Otsutsukis, they were not able to recognize this change in reality themselves, while Momoshiki narrated everything that happened as if he had omniscient knowledge. He also knew from the beginning that Boruto was going to end up like this, which at another time seems like a godly power. This makes Momoshiki different from all the other Otsutsukis that we have seen before. He's able to tell if history was rewritten, along with sneaking into the fates of people. However, these are not the only characteristics that make Momoshiki the potential vessel of Shibai. The writing style of Kishimoto, where he uses a certain character to control another major character, also hints at the same. The introduction of Shibai was not a nominal event. It definitely will play out a huge role later in the series. Now you guys may ask, if the karma only grants the vessel the battle experience of an Otsutsuki, how is it possible for Momoshiki to inherit the knowledge of Shibai? Well, this is where the stature difference of these beings comes into play. Firstly, I don't think the vessel of an Otsutsuki god would require a karma seal. Rather, it could be done in a pure and divine way, as this process might prove to be a blessing on the vessel itself. Once the Otsutsuki gets chosen as the vessel, he might not acquire the battle experience of the ascended being. Rather, he would only inherit their knowledge and intelligence. So Shibai choosing Momoshiki as his vessel, then Momoshiki choosing the human who strongly inherits the power of an Otsutsuki, might not be a coincidence at all. I feel like Momoshiki deliberately lost to Boruto, mainly because he had already foreseen his fate and identified him as a good medium to get over his curse, the curse of being the vessel of an Otsutsuki god. Remember how Amado said Shibai could bring out lightning storms with the swing of his arm? A similar thing was done by Momoshiki during his final fight. Now, if that doesn't convince you for Momoshiki's Shibai connection, let's take a look at the story of Momotaro, the character who acted as an inspiration for Momoshiki. It is said that he was bestowed by the gods to be the old couple's son. Taking that into the account of Momoshiki, he might also be the chosen one of the Otsutsuki god. Now, the reason why Shibai could have chosen him as his vessel might have something to do with the other Otsutsuki gods. It could be that there's some conflict going on in the divine realm, and Momoshiki was given the job to deal with it. He somehow ended up finding a vessel who luckily inherited the jogan, the dojutsu that's really rare in the Otsutsuki clan. The way Boruto grows the horn over his head is just the true essence of Shibai living in his body through the karma. The fact that Momoshiki revived Boruto also hints towards his godly connection. Let's be logical for a second. How would Momoshiki have the knowledge of so many Shinjutsus alongside the omnipotence incidents that have happened with humanity before? It's just the access to divine knowledge of Shibai which has made him so wise. Also, it could be that he needed a vessel to bypass the curse of the god Otsutsuki at first place. The reason he wants to become Boruto once he loses everything could be his master plan of attaining freedom. Remember how Toneri was afraid that the gods will devour planet Earth very soon. He would not refer to a member of his clan as god. So it seems like he was referring to Momoshiki, the vessel of an Otsutsuki god. As I mentioned earlier, the jogan might be the product of Shibai's essence releasing into Boruto's body, mainly because of the fusion of consciousness with Momoshiki. So could it mean that Momoshiki is trying to help Boruto all along? Well, the concept of yin yang says that there is always some good in the evil and some evil in the good. Momoshiki is not totally after ruining Boruto's life. It could also be the other way around. I was wondering if there is some possible way for Boruto and Momoshiki to gain separation from each other, and I think I have found something interesting. Remember how Amado said he had infused Akebi's consciousness into Kawaki's karma? What if Momoshiki also ends up driving his consciousness into Boruto's karma? By this, Boruto can put his karma onto another vessel to separate himself from the curse of Momoshiki. Not to mention that new Momoshiki will be a brand new existence, which means he won't be the vessel of Shibai anymore. Momoshiki's reason of becoming Boruto could be to free himself from being the medium of an Otsutsuki god's revival. Well, that's one aspect of the theory where I think Momoshiki unwillingly became the vessel of Shibai. But what if he himself chose to be the vessel of Shibai, or I should say his servant? Maybe the purpose of an average Otsutsuki duo is to serve the one who have already become gods. Remember when Momoshiki and the others landed on the planet? They were curious about Kaguya but did not say a word about Ishiki, as if they knew he had been killed. Amado recalled the story of Kaguya and Ishiki as betrayal. But what if Kaguya was ordered by the higher ups of the clan to murder Ishiki because of his rebellious behavior? This explains why no Otsutsuki talked about Ishiki until he appeared himself. To find out why Ishiki had been punished by the Otsutsuki clan, we will need to understand the mindset of his vessel. Kawaki is the human counterpart of Ishiki. I really believe the vessel compatibility of an Otsutsuki has something to do with their nature. Just like how Momoshiki is very similar to Boruto, a spoiled privilege who overestimates his capabilities. Kawaki is also a duplicate of Ishiki, a rebellious individual who can cross all limits to achieve his goals. As we know, Kawaki's breathtaking makeover was a result of love that Naruto provided him. The reason for Ishiki's banishment could be the fact that he did not obey the rules of the clan. He must have been told to submit to an Otsutsuki god, most likely Shibai, but he wanted to become one himself. That's why he ended up like this. This could mean that all the rule-abiding Otsutsukis are surrendered to these beings. Toneri, being separate from the main family, was fully aware of this analogy. That's why he was afraid the gods will land on the planet. The insane character development of Momoshiki might unveil a new aspect of his relationship with Boruto. He might have not chosen him for selfish intent, but for the sake of Shibai, to whom he is enslaved. But why exactly would Shibai need a vessel at first place? Well, one of the reasons which make me think the Otsutsuki god might have chosen Momoshiki could be the fact that a deity is not directly compatible with a human. Shibai's purpose to make Boruto his vessel might be to forbid the jogan that he had somehow unlocked. That's why he chose an Otsutsuki, who later made the main vessel his target. It could be that Momoshiki would reveal his true agenda really soon, leading to the most unexpected twist of the series. We should not ignore the fact that the jogan has been prophesied to heal the ailments of Boruto's fate. So what if Shibai actually wanted to help Boruto and decided to grant him the divine power? It could be that he has been testing Boruto all along, and now that he has lost everything, he wants him to fulfill a certain purpose. A purpose that will help Momoshiki in achieving his ultimate goal, alongside awakening the pure power in Boruto's destroyed eye. Momoshiki, being a mere slave of Shibai, could hint at that purpose being really divine and beyond the shinobi world. We know that godhood is a stature that must have made Shibai wise and mindful. He could have come to this conclusion that this system of Otsutsuki turning into gods is very cruel, as it destroys the lives of millions of creatures. That's why he must have directed Momoshiki to planet Earth in order to make Boruto his vessel. We shouldn't forget there are more Otsutsuki gods in the universe, so the concept of good and evil must also be there. Boruto's very first mission after Jogan awakening might be to get his old destiny back. Secondly, it could be to retrieve the remains of Shibai that Amado used to create the deadly cyborgs. And finally, to defeat the other Otsutsuki gods. The reason I think this way is because the other manga of Kishimoto Samurai 8 followed a similar concept. Hachimaru also gets his eyes scarred, then ends up becoming a warrior god at the end of the series. He might not become an Otsutsuki god himself, but could bring an end to the Otsutsuki regimes once for all. The other power that the jogan would grant Boruto could be to travel across time. Check out this video to find out more about it, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stuff. I'll see you next time.